Decision 2020 coming to you at 4:58 on a Wednesday morning. Election night may be over, but there are thousands of votes that still need to be counted, including right here in Georgia.
And all eyes are on the tight race for the White House as President Trump and Joe Biden are neck and neck.
So let's take a look at how Georgians are voting, with 85% of the precincts reporting Trump has 50%, Biden with 48%. And just about 2 hours ago, President Trump making headlines by claiming victory, then vowing to go to the Supreme Court to stop the vote counting. Biden calling his promised actions outrageous.
And in the Georgia U.S. Senate race, incumbent Republican David Perdue taking the lead over Democrat Jon Ossoff, about 51% to 47%. That's with about 99% of the precincts reporting. And it's a runoff in the battle to control the U.S. Senate. This after Republican Congressman Doug Collins conceded in a tweet. This now sets up current Republican Senator Kelly Loeffler and Democrat Reverend Raphael Warnock for a runoff election for January 5th of next year.
We have team coverage of the election this morning. Our crews are standing by across Metro Atlanta with the latest on the counts, which, to be clear, have been suspended until later this morning. Let's begin with Liza Lucas live at Gwinnett County's elections office with more on a software issue that's left about 60,000 ballots still not tallied. Is that number still correct at this hour, Liza?
Well, we do not have the exact number of ballots in question here, but that is the estimation as close as it's gotten so far from election officials who we've been in touch with throughout the course of the night. They indeed confirmed that there was a software issue, and here is what else we know. A spokesperson for the county tells me that the scanning machines that read the ballots are saying about half of roughly 120,000 absentee ballots Gwinnett had going into Election Day may need further review. Again, we're not yet clear on the exact number of ballots impacted, but a spokesman told me the first half of ballots scanned with no problem. The second group likely contained more than 60,000 ballots. However, the county is not expecting they're going to need to review all 60,000. Because the ballots are scanned in batches, only the batches the system flags will need attention. Again, we have yet to learn the exact number in regards to that. A three-person committee, which includes a representative from both political parties and an election official, they're going to be in charge of reviewing these ballots in question. We're going to stay on top of it here in Gwinnett and stay in touch with the county as that count is further reviewed. We do understand from election officials that the majority of results here in Gwinnett are in, but election officials also warned that those results could change pending the review of those ballots.
All right, Liza, thank you so much. The counts will continue coming in for Fulton County later today as well. Elections officials say large amounts of absentee mail-in ballots caused an hours-long delay in the counting. And again, there is more counting that will come later. Jerry Carnes is live in southwest Atlanta outside of the elections warehouse with the latest for us. Jerry, what can you tell us?
Well, good morning. Efforts to count all of the votes here in Fulton County are taking place at two different locations. Work here at this warehouse in northwest Atlanta has paused, should resume at about 9 o'clock this morning. This is where all of the votes in Fulton County are being uploaded to the Secretary of State. Over at State Farm Arena, that is where workers are processing the absentee ballots, then sending them here to be uploaded to the Secretary of State. And that process over at State Farm, that's what's taking a while. Election officials tell us they have to scan each absentee ballot. They have to check each for the signature along with other details. The sheer volume and the meticulous process is what is taking so long. An unusual number of absentee ballots submitted this year because of COVID-19. There was a water leak over at State Farm Arena that did delay the process some, but election officials are telling us it was not a big deal.
All that did was put our starting time back from maybe 7 o'clock this morning to 9:30.
Okay.
We can make that up with 5 scanners. We can make that up in less than an hour.
So all that's left now is continue with what's left is about a handful of in-person ballots that still have to be counted and uploaded, and then about 30,000 absentee ballots that will have to be processed and then brought here and uploaded to the Secretary of State. Fulton County officials are telling me that should be finished by today.
All right, Jerry Carnes, thank you. Joe Ripley continuing our team coverage from the elections office in Decatur, where DeKalb County officials also reporting thousands of absentee ballots that still need to be counted as well.
That's right. Good morning. The elections office here in DeKalb County has already said it's tabulated over 322,000 early voting, absentee by mail, and election day ballots. But those absentee ballots here, 33 of these drop boxes across the county, those absentee ballots, still a number of those to be counted. That count will not resume, though, until 11 o'clock this morning, per elections officials. And while election day was mostly smooth across DeKalb County, some of the delays in counting overnight stemmed from two polling locations that opened late on Tuesday. A Superior Court judge signed an order approving a petition by the Board of Registration and Elections to extend voting for the Valley Brook precinct until 7:40 last night and the Gresham Road precinct until 7:45. The Secretary of State's office shows the Snapfinger Road precinct results are only partially reporting as of right now. DeKalb County Commissioner Larry Johnson reflected on some of the slowdowns and confusion that headlined Election Day.
We learned that we had to have technical people who know how to work this poll pass to be on site. We learned that we had to have better signage. We learned we had to have additional personnel to be available. You cannot wait. You got to have them here early.
The commissioner also expected a heavy increase in Korean and Spanish-speaking voters, as there was a big $4.7 million investment to customize those ballots.
Joe, thank you. DeKalb County now, where Democrats fared really well, flipping many seats from red to blue. Mara Sirianni live outside the main elections office in Marietta with the latest on the big races and some stunners here, Mara.
Yeah, some big stunners here. So as you mentioned, we're here at the elections office where they counted those ballots into the early morning hours. And we know that Cobb County is historically red, but as you mentioned, Sheba, Democrats taking some of these big local races this time around. So let's get you right to those results, starting with Cobb's top elected official with 100% of precincts reporting. Elections officials say Democrat Lisa Cupid is 53% of the vote over incumbent Republican Mike Boyce. This means she would become the first female to head the county government. And in the race for Cobb County District Attorney, Democrat Flynn Brody Jr. won with 51% of the vote, a tight race there. He defeated Republican Joyette Holmes by about 2,700 votes. And in the Cobb County Sheriff race, Democrat Craig Owens, a county police officer, won 55 to 45%, kind of a bigger margin there, defeating incumbent Cobb Sheriff Republican Neil Warren. Now, at last check, more than 400,000 votes here in Cobb have been tallied up, and they've been tallied, I should say, here. But the elections officials won't actually certify all of these results until next week. But again, these are the numbers, and 100% of the precincts reporting at this hour.
All right, Mara, thank you for the update there in Cobb County. And with Georgia moving from red to a battleground state, we were bound to see some counties flip.
Yeah, Christy Diaz joining us now with a county-by-county breakdown. So, Christy, what are the maps showing you right now?
Well, the big picture story is that the red counties, especially in rural Georgia, went redder, and the blue counties here in the metro went bluer. Watch this map. I'm going to reverse back to 2016. That's this. Keep your eyes here. Back to this election, you can see it went darker blue, so much bluer here. But I want to get into some of the specifics here. Remember yesterday on Morning Rush, we talked about these three counties, Cobb, Gwinnett, and Henry, that flipped last election. We'll take a look at the specifics. Out in Cobb County, which Mara just told us, a lot of the local races went blue. The gap here widened in a big way. Last election, the Democrats were only up by about 2 points. This time, you can see that gap is about 16 points. Same thing in Gwinnett County here. It was a single-digit margin last election, only about 6 points. Now, that's about 18 points. Same down in Henry County, too. Went from about 4 points last election. Now there is a 21-point gap as the Democrats are ahead here. Now, here's one other county that I thought was really interesting. Look at Fayette County down here. That is usually a reliably red state, but as we talked about, that Democratic trend, a county doesn't have to turn blue to show that Democratic trend, and I think that's what we're seeing here. In the last election, there was a 19.5-point favorite for Trump. Now he is only 7 points ahead. So a lot that we're continuing to track on this map, county by county. Still some votes left to count, so we probably won't know that until tomorrow. So stay with us. Meantime, Chesley, let's get a check of the weather.
Hey, it's going to be a